Hey, what's up, turtles? It's Krik here with Black Owl for another video. What I wanted to do today was challenge myself to a one match fire in the snow, obviously lots of snow out here, with no tools, meaning no knife, no saw, no axe, nothing like that. So what I did and how I wanted to go about doing this is I wanted to use tulip poplar bark, the inner bark, to get that initial flame from the match and take it to the tulip poplar bark. I walked around the forest looking for this bark as dry as I could find it, and went up, found a big branch that was down, but it was too wet, and I knew there was drier candidates, and that wet bark would have worked, but for the sake of brevity, I kept searching for drier material because I know there was. Even in the snow, you can still find pretty dry material. So I found a branch where it was much drier, but what I wanted to do is find the very, very fine inner bark of the bark I was taking off. And you can see that as I peel, sort of separate it almost, there's a very fine inner bark, or I didn't have to worry about the outer gray bark and the thicker, coarser stuff. That inner fine bark will work that much better, and I believe transfer the flame that much better and take a flame better. So I gathered that in one pocket, and then the other pocket I wasn't so worried about finding super fine stuff because I'm going to use that basically as just a small little almost an assurance policy to a degree. So once I felt comfortable, I had enough material I wanted my tinder, I went around and looked for hemlock, really small branches, ends of branches on hemlock trees. And this isn't just reserved for hemlocks. Pretty much in any conifer forest, considering that there's small enough trees that have branches low to the ground, you can find really small branches to make a twig bundle, is what I'm getting at. I wanted to make a twig bundle using really small branches. So I went around and collected a really nice big pile of that, because that's going to take the flame from my tinder bundle, but I'm going to make a wand out of it to a degree, which I think will be pretty cool and I think will be very successful. So once I had my tinder bundle gathered, I wanted to just grab some other wood that I'm going to use as small little fuel to a degree. To, once the tinder bundle is lit, I can put a little bit thicker stuff on there to keep the fire sustained. So what I want to do now is break up those larger pieces that are going to act as fuel to a degree. I already have a base of wood that's going to protect the fire and help give me a coal base on the ground, keep the fire off of the ground. So you see that in the fire ring. But yeah, now I want to get this process rocking and rolling. All this stuff that can just be added right to the tinder bundle, or twig bundle. What I'm looking for is a branch that sort of has some spread to it that I can sort of wrap some of this bark around. And I've never seen anyone do this method before. I've tried it once before, but I think it works pretty well for a few reasons. So in one pocket I have my thinner pieces of bark. And this stuff's pretty dry, like I mentioned. So what I want to do is, I could keep this in a wad or actually make a slight bird's nest, but because I'm doing this challenge with one match, I want to make sure I employ all the principles of fire from the get-go. And the reason why I'm doing this is because wrapping around this small branch will ensure that there's sort of air gaps and paths for the fire to travel, and it's not too small of openings where potentially if you make a small bird's nest of this stuff, it can sort of get choked for oxygen because you can make it pretty dense. So what I want to do is sort of just loosely weave this stuff around the end of this branch. And I believe even if this bark was marginal, meaning if it wasn't dry as it is now, this method would work for it better because I'm keeping space between it. I'm going to use all this. And why I propose this challenge to myself, is because, yeah, I could come out here in the woods, start a fire with a lighter, but I like to challenge myself in pretty much a lot of aspects of my life for a few reasons. And specifically for doing this sort of in the fire realm, is that it gives me a really intimate sort of experience and knowledge and relationship with the materials in the forest, as opposed to just being able to hold a lighter for 30 seconds if it's marginal material. And I believe when we challenge ourselves more, we give ourselves the opportunity to grow and learn and sort of, hit plateaus in our own life with confidence and our knowledge and stuff like that. So this is why I'm doing it this way and why I'm sort of proposing this challenge to myself. Here's my little wand, and I'm going to light the match, and this is going to take the flame from the match. For the time being, that's just going to get stuck in the snow so it doesn't get wet. In my other pocket, I have some more bark. And this is, like I said, sort of my insurance policy. I'm going to put this on top of my platform, that if for some reason this fire isn't going to be as smooth as I am planning and preparing for, that this will give me something that even if a little bit this catches, not even on fire or flame, even if it gets a little bit of an ember in there, I can still blow the fire to life by having this on the bottom. And for me personally, when I do challenges and make fires, I like to prepare everything so much that once I get the fire process going, get that initial flame going or spark or whatever, that it just works in beautiful concert. And I'm not down at the fire blowing on it, trying to get it to light or the materials to light. So just like having it go, and it just works beautifully together. And for you people that make a lot of fires, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you make a fire, the material is marginal, and you have to be down on your hands and knees blowing into the fire. And I really don't like to do that if I can avoid it. Grab my fire kit out of my bag. I have some matches in there, and a striking pad. Just going to show you this for our sake. Here we go. We got a couple wooden matches in there. Using wooden matches today, and here's your striker. I could just kind of cut off a box. I'll take one match out and try to keep it safe. One wooden match, looks good. Keep that safe. Close this back up. Rubber band back over it. Put the striker here. I'm gonna hold this. Find a good spot to strike from, that'll probably work. All right, it's getting down to crunch time, getting down to go time. So there's a breeze coming, and it's not too bad, but it's coming from this direction towards the camera. I want to pick this up, and I'm going to make sure, do last checks before I go through with all this. Make sure this isn't too tight, but make sure it's tight enough that there's enough bark for the flame to crawl on. Put this out here for now. I want to make sure I can pick this up with one hand because I'm going to need it one-handed. All right, that should be good. All right, let's get down to it. So what I'm going to do is put this in the snow, and I'm trying to block the wind. It's coming, as I mentioned earlier. Make sure this doesn't fall. I'm going to light it down here and try to keep it all good. I'm getting nervous. The wind's picking up, and I'm going to hold off. There's no need to rush this because we're only doing it with one match. Or that's the challenge, one match. And even more on top of this challenge is the fact that we're filming it and trying to make it really precise. And it poses more challenge for me by trying to keep stuff in frame. But I believe it's important for educational purposes to make it more difficult on myself so that you can see exactly what's going on, for you can learn from my successes or failures. We'll see. I'm going to get down here. I'm going to strike, support the match head, strike, and I'm going to try to cup it as best I can. You might not see it, but that's going to be the reality of it until this flame is sort of sustained. I'm going to try to do it all under here and sort of light this up. Step one complete. I'm holding this until this twig bundle lights. I'm not going to set it down on top of it yet. Ha ha! Worked like a charm. Put this other stuff on top. Clean up all these small little pieces I have lying around. Might as well help the fire if I can. Worked like a charm. I didn't gather, obviously, a whole ton of fuel because this was just to show you to get a fire going, the initial steps, and then get it sustained, which I'm calling that a sustained fire. But with what I did, the method I did, there's a nice coal base, not a big coal base, but a coal base that will still allow me to, oh, comes that wind. Coal base allow me to at least get this up again with really small, just little twigs. And I consider this a great success from my standpoint of my methods, what I did to it, all of that. So I kind of want to challenge you. If you're watching this and you have a YouTube channel, I want to put that challenge out there for you to make a one match fire with no tools. Because what that'll allow me, whoa, it'll allow me to see the resources in your area and sort of how you go about gathering them with limited tools. And I think I could learn a lot from that, and I think others could as well. So if you feel inclined to do it, I'm going to challenge you. If you have a YouTube channel and you're watching this, you know who you are. Put up a video, one match, no tools. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It lets my brother and I know that you like it and you like what we're doing, and that's getting really hot on my crotch. Let's back up a little bit. Getting really hot on my crotch, but yeah, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Let us know what you thought in the comment section. This is Krik, signing out with Black Owl. Later, turtles.